Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our Just the Tip Win Wednesday interviews. Today, I'm really excited to have Pete Rakozy here with us. He's going to talk us through how he's been using AI in his business and a little look into the future of AI as well. So, Pete, welcome on and thank you for joining us today.
It's good to be here.
So, we met briefly before over email. I know you got introduced to me by Jeff, but if you could tell us a little bit about your business and what you do.
Oh, yeah. So my company's called Growth Amp, and what we've specialized in right now is helping people activate their brand messaging through AI agents and AI marketing teams. And so I'm doing this in collaboration with another partner of mine, a former client, and that's what we're exploring and building out, and it's going really well. We're really enjoying it.
Nice. So agentic AI being the future of what's coming along now beyond custom GPTs and projects and all the other stuff that people are using.
Uh,
So what platforms are you building these things in? Is it NAN? Is it make.com? What's the background for these things?
Currently, I've been playing around and using a tool called MindPal a lot, and it just makes it stupid easy,
Right.
right? Like where you used to have to struggle with Make and Zapier and all that stuff to pull things together. MindPal does 80% of the heavy lifting for me right now. And then if I do need to build something out further, like it allows me to kind of see the workflow it's built, and then I can replicate that elsewhere if I need to get a little more control, a little more granular with the aspects of the workflows. And so,
Nice. Okay. So it's basically something that doesn't require as much coding and connectivity knowledge as some of the others.
no, it's pretty idiot proof. Meaning, like, I go in, I tell it what I want to build, and then it goes and it creates all the sequences and then all the different agents that need to be in there. And it'll fill in like dummy agents for me, but I can go in and pull in my own agents as needed. So if I've custom built some GPTs for clients using like their information, their branding, all that type of stuff, their AI avatar, or their personas, ideal customer profiles, all that, like I can start to pull those in too so that I can build out essentially one workflow, copy and paste it for every single client and allow them um, to get the good results that they want from that workflow unique to their brand and business.
Nice. So it's fully customizable to somebody's needs, pain points, whatever else they need to make sure that they're addressing with their customers.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So just for those of the people listening that don't know much about AI agents, could you walk us through the basic operation of one of these AI agents and what the outputs would be?
Yeah. So the groundwork for it is very much like writing the backstory for like a good novel, right? Like we will do a lot of industry research. We'll then use that industry research to then build out the ideal customer profile. And then we'll take that ideal customer profile and we'll build out its tone and voice. And then once we built out the tone of voice, then we'll build out kind of its emotional triggers and things like that. So a lot of kind of the fundamentals that you put into place with good copywriting anyway. And then we kind of squash that all together and then add that into the background of a custom GPT, right? And then that allows us to then create copy, posts, social post, whatever it is, that's much, much better and much more tailored to that individual's business than just general GPT stuff, right? So that's usually the foundation for everything. That's the generalist AI, right? That's what Jeff refers to as the AI persona, right? Like just the strategist or things like that. Then we'll take that and we'll clone it for specialist outputs. So if we need to then take that and create a blog post creator or a LinkedIn post creator or a LinkedIn article creator, whatever the marketing asset is that needs to be created, and then we'll build out that specialist workflow from there. And that's just essentially taking like your SOPs that you've built out internally that are your best practices for creating a good piece of content. If you have those, most people don't. And so we'll just take something boilerplate, put it into place, and then tweak it along the way. And then just building out the agentic steps for that and linking them all together inside of MindPal or Zapier or Make or whatever tool they need. But right now, MindPal is making life really easy for us. So
Right, I see. So then they end up with an end-to-end solution that will automatically produce their blog posts. Like how is all that working in terms of the
Yeah, exactly. And the way we've been kind of pitching it or describing it is that you're able to kind of replace your marketing team that you have, right? So instead of hiring on all these interns or kids straight out of college or something like that, you have a marketing manager that's a specialist in that field or that discipline, be it a channel or a type of content you're doing, so LinkedIn or SEO or whatever it is, right? And then we build them a team of these AI bots that is able to produce and execute the output of the content that they want. So they essentially are just managing a team, a virtual team of AI employees instead of managing a team of humans, right? That take 6 to 9 months to get up to speed and then another 2 to 3 years to really get proficient. Just shaving that time off their timelines and allowing them to get work done much, much faster. So
Sure, yeah, it's one of the things Jeff's always says about they don't call in sick. They're happy to keep working whenever, that they don't need training. There's nothing else to deal with in terms of that. And you mentioned there about AI personas being the base and then these being the specialists. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got into Jeff's program and what you sort of taken from there into this business that you've created?
yeah, so I've known Jeff for a good while now. I honestly don't maybe a decade probably we've known each other. And we just keep kind of bumping into each other things. I think we first got to know each other through the digital marketer kind of ambassador program, right? And I was one of the certified marketing professionals in that program, and I got to know Jeff through that. And then eventually I became a client of Jeff's where I hired some of his VAs. And then once you're in Jeff's marketing ecosystem, you're just kind of always in it. And so then I started to like get his marketing emails and everything for the AI persona. And I was like, I know Jeff, I trust Jeff. And so I just went through the program, paid for certification, got through all that. And then that was kind of the end of it. Like after that, like I just dove headfirst into doing and learning everything I could about AI. And so
Well,
yeah,
so were you one of the original people that joined it a couple of years ago when it first came out?
I think so. Actually, yeah. Or a year, at least a year ago. I know I joined a couple of months prior to our house fire. So we had house burned down a year ago. And I remember like I was completing I was going through the certification part like the week after our house burned down because I needed something to like take my mind off of all of that. And like it was not so a lot you can do after a tragedy like that. So I just dove into it. It was like, all right, well, I'll get this done. And so that helped me push through and get that. So yeah, probably about a year ago, I got into it with them.
Yeah, not many more stressful experiences than that, and not one that many people have to go through. So yeah, I can see why that would stick in your mind as that. Yeah, I get what you mean as well. So I met Jeff even before he was doing AI. I think the first thing I got involved in was the crypto gaming team, which was about 3 years, something like that. And as you said, you get stacks of value, so you end up on the email list, and then other things come out. And yeah, a long story short, I was into content marketing, so AI. I'm like, right, I need to get into this when it's arrived. So it's really interesting. I've not spoken to many people that are as deep into the agentic workflows as you are. So how do you see this changing not only like the AI landscape, but the marketing and business landscape in general over the next year?
Oh man, it kind of. So I'm 41, so I've grown up through the birth of Google, the birth of face, like all these different things that supposedly should be once in a lifetime events, right? And this feels kind of like that time again, where it's one of those things, kind of like electricity, that's just going to be like a game changer, revolutionize thing. It's not going to be like an improvement. We're going to see a third of the job market disappear, and tons of unique unknown jobs that are going to replace them. Just like social media manager wasn't even a thing 15 years ago, right? Like nobody knew what that was. You couldn't go to college for it. So I see it as being that type of event right now. And I see it potentially will going one of two ways. Either one, it's going to be like it is now, where instead of as a like a business culture adapting and thinking, oh, we don't have to work as hard. Like we can do 10 times the amount of work in 20 hours. Like instead of like kind of relaxing and allowing people to live their lives a little bit more, I worry that it's probably going to go the opposite direction where the hard drivers, the type A's, the overambitious capitalist people are going to be like, oh, nice. Now I can get 100 times more done. So we can do if I work 80 hours a week and then that kind of becomes the norm again, where everybody's kind of burnt out and working and things like that, right? I hope it doesn't go that way. So from a business culture standpoint, I really hope it goes the opposite direction where we start to push more of a work-life balance. We start to push like for 4-day work weeks and see that AI allows us to do kind of that type of stuff. And looking at like the up and coming generation, like I think they might have a good influence on that because a lot of them are just not willing to work like our parents did, like crazy hours and have that work ethic. And they've grown up and were born into technology and know what it can do and are going to demand that our employment overlords are going to allow us to like be a little bit more flexible, right? Like I still fight like see companies who are fighting with their employees to go back to the office and it's like why like like we have all this tools technology and everything to allow people to work just as good if not better everywhere. So there's that side of it that I see, and then from like the agentic standpoint, like I see it being that we're going to be able to do so much more work, better work, and have much more personalized experience than we've ever had before, right? Like the advent of the internet and a lot of the things that have come along with that allowed for marketing to make shopping and buying easier, right? Because if ad platforms do their job well, they track anything and everything I'm doing anyway, take millions of data points, compress them down so that they're able to put in front of me what I'm already looking for, right? And make it super easy for me to find things that I want. I see it just doing that even on a larger scale, much more personalized, much more unique to me. And I'm excited for that because that's lazy. And that means that's less work and research and everything I have to do to be able to like make those decisions, which means I can save that decision brain power for more important things like where am I going to take my wife this week on a date or what things are we going to do with my kids that's going to be fun and memory making, that type of stuff. So I'm not burnt out on other things. So
Totally. I agree. I think maybe it's marketers like us that think like that because I feel the same. I'm happy for things to take as many data points as possible. If they then show me things I didn't know existed that I want, it's like, this is awesome.
exactly. Like I love it. And I know there's a lot of like doom and gloom and people are all like, they've got our data, right? Like that type of stuff. It's like, well, yeah, but my life's easier for it. I don't care. So
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, ship sailed, and I get it. I think it's if people are more impressionable, I think that's the concern. But I mean, generally speaking, that's you get personalized things that you want. That's great. And the other thing you mentioned, which I think just to add an angle to it, it's great that people will be able to work less. But I also think it's an opportunity for those people that are maybe behind in a certain industry or want to catch up to catch up with people by yeah, you know.
It's a
Uh,
great equalizer. I
Right. Yeah. Like you could have 20 years experience, but if someone's in AI and working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, really pushing to get their business going, they can catch up quick.
Yeah. I love like the things that I've loved about it over the last year is just how much smarter it has made me. Either it made me appear or it has made me like actually because I'm able to like the thing I like you can't do with Google anymore is like debate or like challenge or anything like that. But like with ChatGPT, like I can talk to it, I can go on walks or on long drives or things like that. I can be like, I can give it parameters and say, debate me, argue me, point, and I can do that, which is great. So it's actually made me a better thinker, smarter individual, more articulate. Yeah. So it's been good. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. I think you also think kind of backwards. You start to reverse engineer things, and every problem you look at and think, how could I put this into AI to fix this problem? And it's a totally different way of thinking. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's great.
Wild, considering we're 2 years in. So, if people want to follow your journey, they want to get involved with what you're doing with your business, they want to find out more about you and your services, Pete, where's the best place to follow you? Is it Facebook, LinkedIn? Of course, I'll put the links in the description, but it'd be good if you told us where to look.
Yeah, you can find me and follow me on LinkedIn or X. Those are the two places that I'm public. Everything else I've locked down and kept pretty private. And so
I like that. Yeah. If I can get the links from you privately after this, I will make sure they get added into the bottom. But finally, just wanted to thank you. It's really good to hear your insights on where AI is going as well as what you're doing with Agentic AI. And we'll definitely have to have you on again in the future to hear how that's progressed.
yeah, definitely. I would love to.
Awesome. Thanks, man.